If I'd expected the women of my household to greet me at the door with a cup of Falernian, a dish of nuts, and a cloth with which to mop my troubled brow, I was out of luck. As it was, it took an age to rouse the door porter, and at least twice as long for Juba and him to pour me out of the litter and drag me inside on my toga. There was an art to it I was mostly unaware of. I was trying to unlace my sandals. "Hey! Juba!" "Yes, sir." Juba was a big, solid lump of Ethiopian with muscles that could crack walnuts and a talent for languages that was wasted on me. "There's this girl from Campania, and she goes up to her father and... I can't get this strap undone, you know. And anyway, she goes up to her father and says, 'Papa, I'm pregnant. Can you just help me get this sandal off, please?'" Hersa, the door porter, knelt down to lend a hand. Hersa was a prime example of why you should never buy sight unseen and, more importantly, why you should never buy off relatives. The word was out that I needed a new door porter. The old one was as deaf as a post, as blind as a bat, and as incontinent as only a blind, deaf old man can be. I'd pensioned him off to my estate in Corduba, where I'm sure he had rediscovered the vigor of his youth and would spend his final years impregnating farm girls, brawling with their oily boyfriends, and living it up at my expense. Ta-da! Mad Uncle Maro to the rescue. As soon as he heard I was after a door porter, he had just the one. An 18-year-old German, guaranteed to scare away burglars, door-to-door salesmen, and friends I owed money. Sturdy and strapping? Hardly. Skinny and spotty, and as German as my right foot. His golden locks were less convincing than Aunt Marcia's. All right, there was German somewhere in his genealogy, but if Hersa so much as glimpsed a bearded barbarian in full-throated war cry, he'd faint like a girl. But he did like a good joke. "She went to see her father, sir," he reminded me, slipping my sandals off. "Yes, and she says to her father, 'Papa, I'm pregnant.' Well, the old man is deeply shocked. Deeply." Juba hauled me to my bare feet, holding me up by the tunic seams. "I think it's past her bedtime, sir." "Yes, I was just telling Hersa my new joke," I told him. Hersa began gathering the heavy folds of my toga into his arms. His watery eyes were bleary with sleep, and his hair was sticking out at odd angles from his head, like uneven bits of straw. It was time he found a good barber. Well, any barber. "I know a good man in Fish Alley," I confided. "Cheap, but good." Hersa frowned. "I don't get it," he said unhappily. "No, that's not the joke." All the wine I'd drunk at dinner was starting to move around in my stomach like it was searching for an exit.